The credentials to identify Christ in our midst. Part 3.
It says in Revelation 3:12, "He who conquers, I will make him a column in the temple of my God, and will never leave. And I will write upon him the name of my God, and the name of the city of my God, the New Jerusalem, who descends from the heaven of my God, and my new name." Today, we know what that great and new name is, of she who mediates between God and the men of God's creation. Because those of us who have faithfully followed Christ Lisbeth can say with the same certainty of heaven that she has provided us with, that she is the only person who has fulfilled what it says in Revelation 3:12. It is undeniable that through Christ Lisbeth, we know the name of God the Father, Melchizedek, and the name of his city, the New Jerusalem, where she is and who she is, and her new name, Melchizedek Lisbeth, because her name, Lisbeth, together with the name of God the Father, Melchizedek, possesses all the heavenly power. It says in Ephesians 5:27 that the purpose of Christ is to present to herself and to God the Father, since they are two in one, a church in all of God's glory, in the wisdom of God's heaven, without blemish or wrinkle or any such thing, holy and immaculate in the eyes of God, and this has been achieved by Christ Lisbeth. Another irrefutable credential that Christ presents is the immortality, which is that death could no longer retain her under its dominion, because she conquered death with the wisdom of heaven that God the Father granted her, and that is how she offered herself as a living and holy sacrifice, in order to grant us God's immortality as well. There are many credentials that certify Christ Lisbeth as God's anointed one, who fulfills what is written about herself. But there is a very important one that is above any characteristic or sign. Christ is and always has been a woman. As it clearly states in 1 Corinthians 11:3, "But I want you to know that Christ is the head of every male, every man and woman of her creation, and the male is the head of the woman, and God is the head of Christ." In other words, Christ proceeds from God the Father because he was the one who resurrected her, and she is the one who makes him known to man, just as a mother presents her child to its father at birth. The head of Christ is God the Father, the male, and Christ, inevitably, is a woman. Today, we have shown you the elements that are imminent to the identification of Christ. These are irrefutable arguments and undoubted evidence that Christ Lisbeth is the Christ in her second and last coming to save humanity. We invite you to continue listening to her so that you may know and understand how wide, long, deep, and high is her love, her surrender and living sacrifice for the benefit of humanity. Stop waiting for the coming of Christ in an unrealistic way. Be a faithful witness of the true Christ, and do not disregard the clear evidence that God has placed before our eyes today. Amen.